Wait. Whoa, hang on. Wait a minute. Someone picks the Ardiaei? Ardiaei, however you say that. Ardiaei. I'm gonna just call them Ardiaei for now. Maybe Ardiaei. I don't remember. They've got so many vowels in a row on the end of the name that it throws off an English speaker like myself. Yeah, I didn't know people picked these guys. So they're gonna have 3 mercenary Tarantine cavalry. Mercenary Tarantine cavalry. Apologize, folks. That is our medium missile melee cavalry there. A couple of Illyrian riders. So for the Ardiaei, they're basically their faction sucks. Like, that's a pretty good summary of them. Illyrian riders are a cheap medium melee cav. We'll take a look at some of the units here slowly. Illyrian noble hoplites. Good damage spear available to him. It's the one that has the best AP as far as a spear can goes. Mediocre melee attack, good on the sides of hoplites. Very nice charge bonus, actually. Really good armor. Pretty mediocre defense for a hoplite, but, you know, otherwise fairly good stats. So there's a line of Illyrian noble hoplites here. They're very tough hoplites. They're backed up by some mercenary axe warriors who do have some good AP grinding capability as long as they don't get thrashed on a charge. There's some slave slingers, very cheap slingers, and then there's some Illyrian Thurios spears here on the flanks. Thurios spears you guys have seen, and you know why they're useful. Lots of javelins, warding off cav, that type of stuff. And then they're going to be up against Massilia, so another somewhat hoplite-focused faction if it wants to be, though it can do a few other things with the tricks up its sleeve. There is a Tarantine cavalry here for Massilia, otherwise, you know, recently renamed by me as a Mercentine cavalry. Maybe that's what we should call it. So let's take a look at the rest of the Massilian army. Looks like there's going to be an axe warrior on both flanks, so similar to the ones we saw for the Ardiaei. We've got Levy Freeman here on both flanks, so very nice cheap spears. Looks like some thorax swords and more axe warriors here through the middle. There's a Hippeus Lancer, a Massilian cavalry. Now, Massilian cavalry is just a medium. So 2 Hippeus Lancers and a Massilian cavalry where the general resides, a Levy Freeman in the back. Then there are some Massilian hoplites backing up with these thorax swords. Now, Massilian hoplites also come with the better spear, slightly less attack than the Ardiaei noble ones, less armor, slightly better defense, a little less charge. Probably a price difference between those two as well. So let's go ahead and hit play here and see how this one turns out. The Celtic slingers up front are more numerous than the slave slingers. They should be able to deal some damage to the Tarantine cavalry, keep them at distance, and then this Tarantine cavalry can try and also keep them back at a distance. So looks like the players are going to close the distance. I'll actually fast forward to that because we're not missing anything at the moment. Looks like the Ardiaei content with their position. They're going to fall back. I say they're content. I mean, they're certainly at a disadvantage. They're going to start taking some shots with these noble hoplites. They have a tremendous amount of armor and good shields, but regardless, this is health that's starting to get chipped away, so you definitely don't want to sit here and take this. Comes the Tarantine cavalry to push back, but they need to be careful. These Levy Freeman, they're going to go chuck some javelins? I think they're going to go maybe put a javelin volley in these guys too. They are. So, man. It's a great way to chip away at these expensive hoplites. Oh, he's going to run back with them. Well done. Yeah, that's going to really start to put a dent in the hit points of those hoplites. Ooh, Tarantine cavalry. It went too far, and it is going to pay a dear price as it celebrates Javelin Day for the last time. Rest in pieces, you sweet Tarantines. Alright, so there we go. That noble hoplite comes out on the chase. The Levy Freeman's still just giving pursuit here and being annoying. It looks like they were trying to get another javelin toss and it failed. Hippeus Lancer's going to ward off a Tarantine cavalry charge there at the last moment. Though, I was going to say a javelin toss into those Hippeus Lancers would be pretty valuable. That noble hoplite's taking some damage. This is certainly going to make it less effective in combat at this point. So I think that's good skirmishing for Massilia. This is going to be annoying for the Lancers. They can't catch that Tarantine cavalry, but what they can catch is a javelin in the face. So that's going to be a frustrating situation. That noble hoplite's getting chewed up. And the Ardiaei are not going to want to sacrifice a bunch of them. Now, of course, it's going to use a lot of slinger ammo. And it's in the woods, which is also reducing the effectiveness. I mean, it's certainly going to pull away some ammunition. Ooh, those Lancers got a catch! Our first catch of the day, like from Star Wars here. So yeah, the mercenary teen cavalry was caught and punished for their transgressions there against the state of Massilia. Let's see, here comes more mercenary Tarantine cavalry. I don't think they're gonna go for that. Yeah, they're gonna stop and just toss some javelins. Not gonna be super effective. So those noble hoplites have had enough. A fight gets underway here between some axe warriors and the Tarantine cavalry. The axe warriors are going to pull back. It looks like the Massilian, no, the thorax swords are going to counter that. And I don't think the Illyrian nobles got a clean counter charge on them. They're going to go into a hoplite wall. Hoplite. I switch between the two from time to time. So you'll have to forgive me if you don't like one or the other. Anyway, there we go. So we're going to take down that Tarantine cavalry from Massilia. It looks like this one's going to charge forward and be intercepted by the MLG Levy Freeman. Be support there too in the form of javelins. So the initial fight is now underway. Thorax swords had a nice initial engagement there against those nobles, and they fell away from that charge too, which was nice. Here comes a Hippeus Lancer counter. Not a lot of javelins in the vicinity. So those Lancers are going to be mostly okay, though. They need to get out of there, though. It's getting pretty hot up in here. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Javelins coming through from the axe warriors? Not yet. Slave slingers firing away there. That thorax sword got cooked trying to get away from those nobles, and so did that lancer. So both lancers took a lot of damage, blunting that charge. Noble hoplite gets in here with some Massilian hoplites. And let's just kind of see how the engagements go. We've got a lot of armor up against, you know, some more pretty tough units, but the Ardiaei, like I said, not a great faction, but they do have a lot of armor in this case. They do have decent armor-piercing damage for those units. I mean, the slinger fire has just been persistent here from Massilia, and it should pay dividends, ultimately. We got some axe warriors in reserve here helping to grind out those noble hoplites. That's a good unit to throw in there against the noble hoplites. It's a high armor unit where those axes ought to get some good value. Look at that, the Thurio spears tossing their javelins, really wanting to shut down those slingers. I don't know how much more ammo the slingers have. They have used a considerable portion of it. Over here on the infantry fight, there's a bit of a wraparound by Massilia. The Ardiaei trying to turn that back with some Illyrian cavalry here. There's even more axe warriors over here, so this flank's kind of getting overloaded. That Illyrian cavalry is probably going to get chopped up on that charge. It'll do okay after a charge against the Hippeus Lancers, but it's not going to like that charge. The Illyrian general is just getting throttled by slingers right now, so yeah, getting him into combat would probably be the best thing, and honestly, these slingers need to be looking for good targets too. The Massilian cavalry general is looking pretty healthy, and this could end up being a problem for the Ardiaei later. Yeah, the noble hoplites don't appear to, I mean, where they are doing good, Massilia is getting free. So they did okay in some of their fights, but that slinger fire was persistent and relentless. And like I said, those are some tough melee units. I just don't think there's enough of them to pull this off. In my opinion, the Ardiaei are probably the worst faction in the game for multiplayer, and probably the worst one for, I don't know, Pergamon's right up there too. But I'm guessing I would go with Ardiaei if I had to pick one of the two. So it's a bold choice to pick them. It is an interesting matchup of sorts against Massilia, because Massilia is also not like the world's best faction in multiplayer or something. You know, it's not like there's some OP powerhouse. So it does end up creating an interesting match here, but in this case, I just think the more numerous tools of Massilia are really coming to be shown here. It's like the general getting charged by the Tarantine cavalry there. I don't think that's going to go well for the Tarantine cavalry. Might be biting off a little more than they can chew there. So again, an interesting performance. I mean, look at this noble hoplite's got 112 kills in climbing, and it's a tough unit. They're going to cut down that hoplite. And those slingers, though, I wish we could see the gold value on these slingers. It's not going to be reflected in the kills, but going to be some nice value there. Those mercenary axe warriors going against the hoplites. Getting a fair number of kills there, too. Axe warrior back here fighting through some levy freemen. I mean, Massilia's paying a price to try and finish this infantry fight. If they run out of sling ammunition here soon, they may have trouble finishing that infantry fight. But those slingers, like, they have just been absolutely destroying hoplite hit points this whole fight. There's a Thuriel Spear here that's going to need to fix that Axe Warrior. Try and get those slingers away alive, but there's another Axe Warrior over here, so no more defenses for the Ardiaei. Here comes the Hippeus Lancers to finish the deal. They're going to pound right through these slave slingers. This Levy Freeman is going to get completely overwhelmed. Nice move here by the Massilian cavalry. And then some Thorax swords came in here against the noble hoplites. Look at that, 141 kills, 102 kills. Those guys are absolutely owning. It's an impressive performance. You can see why the Massilian player focused them so heavily with the slingers, because they were clearly the danger to their forces here. So much armor and ability to last on the battlefield. They needed to be worn down, and I think that wearing down ended up being very effective here. To me, this kind of looks like a mop-up operation for Massilia at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the end, let you all see what happens. It looks like the case. I mean, still, though, look at this performance, 152. These guys just won't give up. They're going to lose to those swordsmen. 157 kills over here. I mean, despite taking all that slinger fire, they still managed to get in here and do some brutal damage. So, kudos to those Illyrian nobles. Not being pushovers. 157, 159, 187. Looks like a chevron on that unit, too. So 4 of them picked up chevrons. It's an impressive performance, to say the least. So, yeah, Ardiaei, it's a tough one. I mean, but these units were good. They did well. Sol was able to just grind it out here against Fight Me, but I think in huge part due to those slingers. The performance on them was extremely good. For such a cheap unit like a Celtic Slinger, they really helped to limit the rest of what these Illyrian noble hoplites could have done. If those slingers would have gone down early, if they would have gone down carelessly, it's very possible that hoplite line could have grinded through there, because they took a considerable amount of damage from the slingers. Anyway, good game to both players. Really enjoyed this one. Appreciated seeing the Ardiaei. Haven't seen them in a long time, so I figured they would be fun to show them. Hope you all enjoyed it. Heir of Carthage, signing out for now.